Welcome into another one-on-one session here at OKPreps Media Days. I'm Michael Knight, sitting down with Union senior running back A.J. Green. Also sees plenty of time on the defensive side of the ball, but one of the more dynamic running backs in Oklahoma. A.J., thanks for sitting down with me today. Let's start with last season. It'll be a brief conversation because I'm sure you don't want to talk a whole lot about it. 6-5 certainly isn't the standard at Union. You were banged up, though, for a good part of that season. What was it like to have to, watch from the sidelines and, not be at 100% for a lot of those games? I'm sure it was frustrating. But at the same time, were you able to take anything away from having to watch the game from a different angle and, having to sit back and help in a different way as opposed to helping on the field?
It was really just frustrating just a little bit, not as much. But I got to see how I could help out on the sidelines, even though I want to play bad, but I'm banged up. I can't play, can't run, doing a lot of my the recovery stuff. So it was really just me learning how to allow other people to try to take over the game instead of just me trying to do it. But, we had a good team last year. They did pretty good even without me. So so it wasn't really as frustrating, but it was and that I didn't really get to play in the games that I should have been playing in.
Right. Yeah. Well, arguably one of your best games last year was the last one in the playoffs. You had a really good game against Broken Arrow. Obviously, things don't end the way you would like. Obviously, you'd like to win that game, contend for a state championship. What can you take away from last season as a team, building off of that? Because the second half of the season was great. You complete bounce back after the first 5 games. How can you build off of that going into this year?
I would say really just we got to keep the same energy from when we get into training and then into football season and then to the end of the regular season. I would really think it was just we didn't really think we had competition coming in, so we were just thinking okay, yeah, this is going to be an easy season. We're going to win state, and that was our problem. That was where we messed up at. We should have been playing every single game like it was our last, and they were like it was the state championship game. So that's what I would say. We need to change this year. We need to bring more intensity and try harder every game. Try to give a little more every game. So yeah, that's what I would say.
You're coming back. You appear to be healthy, appear to be 100%. Rovon comes back at quarterback. You got some skill guys coming back. How dangerous could this offense be in 2020? Because I look at it on paper, man, and I see a lot of points in your future.
Yeah, I think we could be really dangerous running the ball, passing the ball, even Rovon running the ball. But we're going to have a good line, good protection, so the offense is going to be nasty this year.
Now, for you personally, working off of last season, what's been something you've been working on this offseason to improve your game, getting ready for your senior year?
Me, I'm putting a little bit more weight on. I was 180 last year. Right now I'm 194, so trying to get a little bit more strength to match up with my speed. So if I hit a defender, I can just run them over and get past them easier. So, yeah. That was the main thing for me, but I'm still trying to keep the speed and not trying to lose any of the speed, but just put a little bit of weight on.
Yeah, look, when it comes to you, man, that speed is the name of the game. So used to watching him just run around people. This year you might be seeing him run through people, which is dangerous to think about. Let's talk about this offseason. Obviously, it's been a little different with everything going on. How have you guys had to get creative with off-season workouts? And obviously the weight room's closed, school's closed. How did you guys have to get creative and stay on the same page during workouts?
We had meetings every morning. We would have a team meeting, offensive meeting, defensive meeting, and stuff like that. And then strength and conditioning coach, Coach Kyle, he would always put something out on our team builder so we could see what we needed to be doing that day. So we would try to keep up with that, keep our workouts in, get conditioning in so we could stay in shape. So when we do come back, we're ready. So I think we did pretty good at it, but there's obviously some people that could have done better. But we weren't expecting 100% out of it, but we're going to get 100% out of this training we're doing now that we're starting. So
Look, again, at the end of the day, you're dealing with high school kids, and trusting that they're going to do it on their own. So that's the one thing I said was when everything opens up, we're going to find out who's been working because the first thing coaches are going to do is conditioning. Yeah. What's it been like getting back in the weight room, getting back together with your team? Now that all this stuff is hopefully in the past and things are opening up a little bit.
I would say that it's a little more encouraging for us since we know how we ended off last year. That close game against BA, I mean, they fought, we fought, and they came out on top. So we know where we stand right now, and we know where we want to be. So that's pushing us even harder to work even harder every single day in training, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., all that type of stuff. So we're really getting all this work done, and we know the reason, and we know what we're coming for, and we know what we're fighting for this year.
Now, let's have a little fun because, in the last week you committed to Arkansas. What was that? I mean, at what point did you know that Arkansas was the spot that you wanted to commit to? Because, look, you had offers from just about everyone in the country, and I got to think that was pressure in its own right. But at the same time, at what point did you know Arkansas was the spot for you?
When I first got the offer from Arkansas, I really liked the coaches, like the coach they had before, the running back coach, because I had went to a camp with them. And we had talked a lot, and when he offered me the first time they offered with him, and before he was gone, I was like, I don't really know if I'll end up going there or not, but I'll look into it. And then all the other schools came and stuff, this and this and that, and then it was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I just had to take a long time, and I just stopped thinking about it because I was still in football season. So as soon as football season was over, was like, okay, I need to start thinking about this more and more. And I was thinking about it, and I had the new Arkansas coaches hitting me up, Coach Smith, Coach Pittman, and I was like, wow, okay, this changed. And I was like, I might actually like it here. So then I started talking to Coach Waz from OSU. I'm like, man, he's really cool too. So I'm like, yeah, that's too top. DeMarco Murray calls. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just getting harder and harder. So I just got to the point where I just like, okay, Coach Coach Waz, Coach Smith. I'm like, man, okay, let me think about this more. So I just got those 4. I'm like, okay, those are my top 4. So I'm thinking about it, talking to those coaches every single day. And then I just got to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I could get down to 2 now. So I'm like, okay, Coach Waz and Coach Smith, talking to them every single day. And then Coach Smith, Coach Pittman, they're calling me more and more. And I'm just like, oh my, okay. Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm feeling them a little more right now. Coach Waz, Coach Gundy, all of them calling me, Coach Dunn. And I'm just like, okay. And I just thought about it, did a little bit of research, and I'm like, who they have, what's going on during their season, who's going to be there, who's going to be leaving. Yeah. And it was close. It was really close. And I was like, man, I might go with OSU. I don't know. But then I was just like, I feel like we could be something great at Arkansas. And I was like, they're kind of rebuilding right now, and I want to help that out. Yeah. So that's what really got me to choose Arkansas, and I was like, I want to help rebuild this program, and I want to be one of the people that's known, one of the greats that help. So that was really what helped me choose.
Now, Arkansas has been recruiting Oklahoma for decades and decades, but it seems like they're putting more of an importance on it here recently. Keywan Parker from Booker T committed there. Javion Hunt from Carl Albert committed there. They already have a Union boy on that offensive line who I'm sure you're familiar with Ricky Stromberg. What's the connection like with those guys with you? And I'm sure they were very excited to hear the news on Friday when you committed to the Hogs.
The relationship with them, I talked to Ricky a couple of times, and that was when I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go yet. And I talked to Keywan and Lucas, someone who's not even from Oklahoma. I talked to them before, and I was like, yeah, I'm really feeling Arkansas and OSU, but I'm not sure. And they're telling me, yeah, well, I know where I'm going, but they didn't really tell me yet. So I'm like, okay. So they get it out, and then I keep talking to them a little more. I keep talking to Coach Smith, and then I'm like, man, we could be something like dangerous. So then that's where it all just happened. Now we all have a group chat that we talk in for all the commits to Arkansas. So yeah.
Now, when you committed on Friday, obviously social media blew up, and one of the things that I definitely paid attention to was somebody said, hey, he's the next Felix Jones. Then you said Felix Jones on steroids. Then Felix Jones chimed in, which, again, shout out to the Tulsa boys. I'm always going to have their bag. Felix Jones chimes in, and he's like, you know Felix Jones played in the league, right? You think you can top him? I thought that was pretty interesting.
No, I just like to give a little show, something, you know. I mean, I'm always have the confidence, but obviously he's already done all the great things. So that's somebody I would look up to, definitely coming from Arkansas. So that's something I would look up to and try to encourage myself to get to and then probably surpass. So.
Yeah, look, you guys actually have similar styles. I mean, both extremely fast, so you both have that going. So if you end up in the league, you did something right. So that's something. All right, so I see you sitting here. You're wearing a new number as opposed to last year. You changed from number 20 to number 6. Any reason why?
The main reason I did this was because, first of all, it was 8th grade year. I wore number 25. I got hurt a lot that year, so I was like, I'm changing my number. This year, since I had a couple of injuries, I was like, I don't know about this number anymore. So I just had to go with something new, trying it out, and just see how it goes.
So what's going to happen if you end up God willing, hopefully you stay healthy, but do you have a backup number? Are you going to switch halfway through the season?
I don't know if I'll switch halfway through the season. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm healthy throughout the whole season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. Okay, final question for you. What has to happen for let's get back to, Arkansas is great. The future's certainly bright. You're one of the best players in Oklahoma. But what has to happen for this year, Union, to not only make it back to the playoffs, but to contend for a state championship?
I would say we just need to bring out everything we have in us, because I feel like last year we didn't. Like I already said, we didn't try as hard like at the beginning of the season. So if we play with the same energy we played against BA, which we knew was going to be a fight either way, and somebody had to go down, and it ended up being us. So that's how we need to play every single game like it's the last game of the season. And I'm a senior now, so it would be my last game as a high school player. So I'm going to give all I have, and I know all the seniors on my team is going to give all they have. And any seniors on any other team we're going against is also going to give all they have. So it's going to be a fight every single game from us, probably from the other teams too. So I'm ready for this year. I know everybody else is. It's been a weird offseason, but we're going to get to work.
That's a perfect way to end it. AJ, thank you for sitting down with me. Congrats on your commitment to Arkansas. I know it's a big pressure off your shoulders, so good luck the rest of the offseason. Looking forward to seeing what 2020 holds for not only you, but for Union as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's AJ Green, a.k.a. Felix Jones on steroids. I'm Michael Knight, and this has been another one-on-one session here at OKPreps Media Days.